Your business account could be the reason you get denied for funding, and most business owners have no idea that it's even happening. Lenders don't just look at your revenue, they look at where you bank, how you manage your cash flow, and what your business credit profile looks like. And so the wrong checking account can silently work against your business before you ever go to fill out an application. And so in this video, I'm going to go over the 5 best business checking accounts available right now, not just based on fees and features, but based on which ones actually set your business up to access funding before you need it. I'll also break down what makes each bank account worth using, and the one thing about each account most people don't find out until after they've already signed up. Before we jump into the list, I want to quickly cover the 5 factors I use to evaluate each of these bank accounts. And so the first factor I considered is fees. I took into account monthly maintenance fees, transaction fees, and wire fees. Secondly, I considered APY. Thirdly, funding access. Does a platform actually support your ability to build business credit? And then the fourth factor I based my comparison on is integration. Do these accounts sync well with accounting software, as it will significantly save you in time and money when you go to file your taxes. And then lastly, I wanted to factor in an in-person banking option, as there are some really big features offered with in-person banking that you can't get with an online-only platform. First on the list is Lily. What makes Lily generally different is their business build program, designed specifically for business owners who are trying to establish business credit from scratch. Through their business build program, you get 2 trade lines reporting your monthly business credit card payment and your monthly Lily subscription. Both show up as active accounts on your business credit profile. And what I really respect about how they've built this program is that you can see your scores directly inside the Lily platform, and it links directly to Dun & Bradstreet, which is huge for transparency. And so when it comes to the business build program itself, it does cost $30 a month, but to put that in perspective, the closest competitor is NAT, and their entry-level plan starts at $39.99 a month, whereas Lily comes in cheaper, and they offer a 30-day free trial. Now let's move on to the banking side. And so Lily's core plan has no monthly fees, no hidden fees, no minimum deposit requirements, no overdraft fees, and no fees on incoming domestic wire. The savings account earns up to 2.5% APY on balances up to $500,000, and you can get this on their free plan. Then when it comes to balances between $500K and $1 million, that rate goes up to 4% APY. And so for a business banking platform, those are really strong numbers. But Lily isn't perfect and does have some cons. First, invoicing and bill pay are not included on the free plan. And so to really get access to those features, you will need to upgrade to Lily's paid plan. Secondly, Lily does not support cash deposits. If any part of your business handles physical cash, this account isn't going to work for you. Next is Bluevine, and this is one of my personal favorites, and is the closest one to a complete all-in-one business banking platform. And so Bluevine has a 4-point star rating on Trustpilot with over 10,000 reviews and has served over 900,000 businesses. And so in a traditional sense, they're not a startup. Bluevine is a financial technology company. And so what separates Bluevine from almost everything else here is that they've combined business checking, business lending, and invoicing into a single platform. And they offer all of these features for free. You can manage your daily banking, apply for a line of credit, send and track invoices, all from the same dashboard. When you need funding and you're already banking with Bluevine, your transaction history, cash flow, and financial behavior are all visible in one place. That's a real advantage when you're applying for capital. On the lending side, you can apply for a Bluevine line of credit and also apply for a term loan of up to $500,000. And before I get into plan breakdown, Bluevine is currently offering a $500 sign-up bonus. The link is in the description below. And so as of April 26th, with Bluevine's free plan, you can earn up to 1.3 APY on balances up to $250,000. Then with their Plus plan, which is $30 a month, you can earn up to 1.75% APY. And lastly, with their Premium plan at $95 a month, you can earn up to 3% APY. And what I like about Bluevine is that they do have an interest calculator. So based off your balance, you can determine which account is best for you. But here is what most people miss about those paid plans. Both the Plus and Premier monthly fees can get waived. So you could wind up earning that additional interest without paying any monthly fee. Bluevine also has a sub-account feature that I think is one of the most underrated parts of the platform. Since there's no dedicated savings account, Bluevine lets you create sub-accounts, each with its own dedicated account number. So you can separate your money by project, department, tax reserve, or whatever makes sense for your operation. And what's nice is that you can set up automatic transfers between these accounts. But Bluevine isn't perfect. And so the main con with this platform is that there's no standalone savings account. Next, we're on to Mercury. And this has become almost the default pick for startups, e-commerce businesses, and digital-first companies. When you actually look at what it offers, that reputation is well earned, as Mercury has a 4.9 star rating on the Apple Store with over 11,000 reviews. That's a signal that the day-to-day experience using this product is smooth and reliable. They've served over 300,000 businesses, and they're FDIC insured up to $5 million through their partner banks, Choice Financial Group and Column NA. The feature that truly separates Mercury from everything else on this list is that Mercury offers personal banking alongside business banking. The personal account does cost $240 a year, and there's no free tier for it. And so for the right person, this is a compelling setup that you do want to consider. And now moving on to the business side, Mercury does offer free checking and savings account, free ACH transfers, and a really big standout benefit, free domestic and international USD wire transfers. If you don't know, that's a really big deal, especially if you have clients or contractors that work in another country. But with Mercury, you can handle these transfers for free. And so if your business pays contractors overseas, works with international vendors, or receives international payment, Mercury is almost certainly your most effective option on this list. Plus, Mercury does offer debit and credit cards with customizable spending limits and payment and invoicing with no fees. Their invoice templates are some of the cleanest I've seen in any business banking platform. They integrate with QuickBooks, Xero, and NetSuite. The NetSuite integration specifically makes Mercury one of the few platforms on this list suited for more complex operations. But Mercury isn't perfect. And so when it comes to some of their cons, Mercury does not support cash deposits at all. No ATMs, no deposit points, nothing. They are built entirely around electronic payments and online businesses. And so if any part of your business involves physical cash, Mercury is not the right fit. Secondly, the $240 annual cost for the personal banking feature is an add-on that won't be relevant for every business owner. And then the last con, which relates to some of the other financial technology companies on this list, is that it has no in-person banking. And so if you value that in-person experience, you won't be able to get that with Mercury. Next, we have Relay, and this is specifically for business owners that are managing multiple income streams, multiple team members, or have multiple businesses and want to see their total revenue in one clear picture. And at the same time need serious organizational control over how their money is structured. And so Relay has served over 110,000 businesses, and the feature that makes them completely different from anything else on this list is the account architecture. You can open up to 20 separate checking accounts under one business, not sub-accounts, not virtual buckets, but 20 fully independent checking accounts, each with their own account number. And you can get issued up to 50 virtual or physical debit cards. You can give each team member or department their own card with their own spending limit. If you run multiple businesses, you can manage all of them under one login. And so Mike Malkowitz, who created Profit First, has partnered with Relay directly because of how naturally the account structure fits that system. And so with Relay Savings Account, they do offer 1.5% APY on their standard plan and up to 3% APY on their higher tier plan. You can deposit via ACH, wire, check, and cash. They also allow cash deposits through ATM locations, which not all the platforms on this list support, though there is a $4.95 fee per cash deposit. You can also send and track invoices for free, and they sync cleanly with QuickBooks Online and Xero. And so if Relay sounds like a fit, I do have a $50 bonus available for anyone who opens an account through the link in the description below. And so although Relay has a ton of benefits, it's not perfect. And so the main limitation with Relay is that it does not offer lines of credit. If you need business funding beyond a business credit card, you're going to need to work with a separate institution. In addition, Relay's business credit card is available for only a select number of business owners. And then for the next account, we have the Chase Business Complete. And this one is different from everything else I've covered. And that's because Chase is not a financial technology platform. It's an actual bank, which means the money sitting in your account is FDIC insured by Chase, as Chase is one of the largest traditional banks in the United States. And what's great about Chase is that it gives you added credibility, especially if you're going to be applying for SBA financing, traditional business loans, or any kind of institutional funding where a real banking relationship carries a lot of weight. And so right now, Chase is offering a $500 bonus when you open a Business Complete account with a minimum $2,000 deposit. And so the real reason Chase belongs on this list is the ecosystem it unlocks. Chase offers business checking, business savings, business credit cards, business loans, merchant services, and payment processing all under one banking relationship. And they have over 500 physical branches and more than than 1,400 ATMs across the country. That physical presence is something no other account on this list can offer. They support cash deposits and high transaction volume, which matters especially for businesses that have a physical location. In addition, Chase has a special feature called Quick Accept, which lets you accept credit card payments and have funds land in your account the same day. But Chase isn't perfect. First, Chase charges a $15 monthly maintenance fee on the Business Complete account by default. And so they don't have a free account like the other banking platforms. And so while the fee can get waived, it does require you to maintain a minimum daily balance. So if your balance does fluctuate in the early stages of your business, that $15 fee will really take a cut at your revenue. In addition, Chase does charge fees for ACH transfers, which in a landscape where several platforms on this list offer free ACH, it is a real shortcoming worth factoring in. And I'll be direct, Chase is better suited for more well-established businesses that are cash flow heavy, have a physical presence, and have a lot of cash exchanging hands. And so if you are a new business and your revenue might be inconsistent, Chase's fee structure can work against you in ways that none of the fintech options on this list will. All right, those are your 5 best business checking accounts right now. And now I'll wrap up and give you my honest take on which one makes the most sense depending on where you actually are in your business. And so if you're brand new and building business credit is your #1 priority, start with Lily. It's the only platform on this list that actively helps you establish trade lines and build your Dun & Bradstreet profile while you bank. At $30 a month with a 30-day free trial, the barrier to entry is low, and the payoff down the road when you apply for funding is significant. But if you want everything in one place, checking, invoicing, and direct access to business funding, go with Bluevine. The combination of a free standard plan, a $500 bonus, fee waivable paid tiers, and the ability to apply for a line of credit or term loan is hard to match. But if you're running an online business, a startup, or digital first operation, and you want the cleanest experience with the strongest integrations, then Mercury is the best option, especially if you do domestic and international wire transfers often. And so if you want to bring your personal and business banking under one roof, Mercury is the only platform on this list that offers that feature. But if you want to manage multiple businesses, run a team, or you're implementing a structured cash flow system like Profit First, then Relay is your best option. Nothing else on this list gives you 20 checking accounts and 50 debit cards under one login with clean accounting integrations built in. But if you need a real traditional bank and you plan on making more frequent cash deposits, or you're building towards SBA financing or institutional business lending, Chase is the best option. Just make sure your balance stays high enough to avoid the monthly fee and factor in the ACH charges when you're running your numbers. And so getting your business bank account right is a foundational step, but it's only one piece of what lenders actually look at when you apply for business funding. Because here's what I see happen all the time. Business owners do everything right with their banking and still get denied. And most of the time it comes down to their business profile not being set up the way lenders expect to see it. The wrong structure, missing documentation, or a funding application that just isn't positioned correctly. And so in my next video right here, I walk through exactly how to set up an LLC so that you look credible to funders. And all the links for today's accounts are in the description below. I can't wait to see you next time. Enjoy the journey and stay building.